Hey there, I'm Trevor Houston, the creator of the Who You Know Summit, and I'd like to welcome you to the Who You Know Job Networking Show.
On our program, we'd like to show you a job search like you've never seen.
Everything from getting noticed by employers, how to properly format your resume, and how to network effectively using LinkedIn to drive recruiters to your profile.
We even take suggestions from our amazing community.
So if you want to learn all things job search, go ahead and subscribe now.
Focus. It's all about the job search. So if you want to learn how to land that next success, you heard them. All you got to do is subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss out on a thing.
Welcome back to the Who You Know Job Networking Show, where what you know is important, but
Who you know.
who you know.
Or who y'all know.
Who you know can make all the difference in your job search.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you who I know. I know a guy. He's up on the screen over here. We got this guy over here. I don't know who this guy is. Let me tell you who this guy is. This is David Keesee, and I hope I'm saying it right. Last name. Okay, because that's what I do. I mess names up. So we got David Keesee, okay? Now, he's a retired professional baseball player turned business and sales high-performance coach that has coached and trained over 30,000 students to create the income and life they desire. 30,000 students,
That's bigger than
y'all.
most universities.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot. Everybody, big round of applause. Welcome David to the house.
Great to meet you.
Man. 30,000 students. Like, okay, so first of all, how the heck do you do that? That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of peeps.
Yeah. Well, it's over the course of about 10 years, 12 years, right? So when you're speaking to large, you do enough events, you do enough speaking, and then you do one-on-one coaching and all that kind of stuff. That's the goal, right? So over time, it just kind of accumulates.
Love that. Love that. Tell us a little bit about before, like something that the audience doesn't know about you already, like, because you're very visible. You're all over social media. You're very easy to find. We know about your professional career, but tell us something that maybe the audience, something that they wouldn't know about you.
Well, something that they wouldn't know about me. I'll go heavy with it. So when I was 8 years old, I died. I was riding my bike and I was going down the sidewalk past a stop sign. My mom told me not to, and driver came up on the sidewalk, boom, and hit me, and I ended up dying and then coming back to life, obviously, or I wouldn't be here right now. So a lot of people don't know that.
Wow, David, we got that in common. I didn't do it on the bicycle. I didn't even need any help. I just fell out. I had a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
And was 3 days clinically dead.
We got something in common.
Yeah, we do. No wonder we get along, man.
That's right.
So I'm curious, 8, you said you were 8?
Yeah.
Wow, how'd your mom take that?
Brutal. In fact, interesting story. Like I had always, because I was the one that experienced it, and it was actually like my best day of my life. I mean, it was almost like a gift. It was like God was like, "Hey, you're going to go through this because I've got a mission for you, and I need you to see life a certain way, but you're not going to feel a thing. You're going to go into a coma. You're going to heal in the coma, and then I'm going to wake you up when everything's all good."
Yes, sir.
And that's basically how I was. I woke up and I was like, "Why is everybody looking at me like that?"
Man, I was going to say, I told y'all he was going to bring somebody. Like right when he comes in the show, he's like, "Mic drop."
And then his mom never let him ride a bike again.
No, what was interesting, though, is I talked to my mom about this experience because the experience was never that brutal for me. I talked to my mom years later, like probably even about 3 or 4 years ago. I said, "Mom, what was your experience?" And she starts telling me, and I just start crying. I'm like, that was really hard on a mom or a parent. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I never considered how brutal that might be.
Yeah.
Man.
How did you get into baseball? I mean, you had already I saw in your profile, right? You played Little League and things like that, but how did you get into the pros?
Well, that's an interesting journey, right? Like, because I was playing baseball before that car accident. I had that car accident. And again, like I said, I basically came out of that from my perspective like a rose. Like I didn't even know. All I knew is there was a certain empathy, a certain connection with everybody on the planet that was just there. But in terms of professional baseball, how did I get there? Taking tens of thousands of swings and tens of thousands of relentless ground balls and moving from team to team to team and just finding a way to fulfill the commitment that I had made when I was like 4 years old.
All right. Hard work.
A lot of hard work. Yep. And honestly, something that I think would be relevant for a lot of people on your podcast, and which is just an amazing podcast and service that you guys offer, is that there was risk involved. I had to take a leap of faith. I had to jump, even though I had all the skills. It wasn't like somebody was like, oh, first round draft pick, David Keesee. It was, I got rejected by them.
Well, yeah,
and I had to go show up at their door.
Well, yeah. So I want to set that stage real quick, because I watched one of your speeches, and it really was, man, this guy, you need to go check out his channel. So I was watching one of your speeches, and you were talking about how you had gotten injured, right? You were playing baseball and you had gotten injured, and all the scouts were out, and they kind of like packed up and were like, oh, well, we're out,
Yep.
right? Like,
Yep.
like tell us a
Moving
little
on.
bit about that story, and how did you overcome that? Because that was your identity, right? That was your, that was what you
That was
did.
everything, dude. I was a baseball player, and so I'll keep this short story like right to the point. Is that I was playing college ball. I had spent my entire life trying to play in playing professional and all that. And the scouts were standing in the stands, and I ended up breaking my wrist at that game. And they got up and they walked out, and they told my agent, "Yeah, we don't buy damaged goods, dude. So sorry. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he was leading in doubles. Yeah, he's really great. But we don't buy damaged products. Sorry, we're out." So they leave, and the season comes and goes. The draft comes and goes. I'm playing summer ball, and there's this thing pulling at me like, I know I can do that. I know I can play pro ball. And so I got online, and I just refused to take no for an answer, and kind of like looking for a job, right? That was what I was doing. I was looking for a professional baseball job. Mm-hmm. And I would go online and I would look at these minor league stats, and I'd be like, ooh, that second baseman isn't doing very good. Let me see if I can go show up at their door. And there was this guy that named Al Gallagher, who's passed away now, but he was my first manager. I ended up showing up. I told him, hey, I'm coming out there to try out. And he's like, you can't do that. You have to go through the scouting bureau. I'm like, too late. Already bought the ticket, dude. See you Tuesday. And so I fly out there.
Nice.
Yes.
And I knock on his door at the clubhouse, and he opens the door and he looks at me and he's like, what do you want? And I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy on the phone. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, yeah, I'm here, dude. I'm here. Let me go practice.
Let's go.
Let's go. And so I went and I tried out, and I crushed it. I did really well. And then he was like, we don't take players like that. Sorry, you got to go through the scouting bureau. I was like, isn't there anything you can do? And he's like, well, we're going on a bus trip at 3 a.m. in the morning down to El Paso, Texas. And, you can come with us, but I can't make you any promises. All I can say is if we decide we're not going to take you, we got to drop you off wherever we are. So I've got no money. I don't know anybody. They're not going to pay for my hotel. They're not going to give me money. They're not going to give me anything. And I have to take this leap of faith. And so I called my mom because I didn't know what to do. And I said, Mom, what do you think I should do? And she started crying. She's like, honey, you should come home and try to find another way. And I remember my mom's tears like really ripping at my soul, because she was there for all the batting practice, the little league games. Like, she saw the whole journey, right? And so I said, Mom, I understand that, but I need you to know that I'll never know. It'll kill me the rest of my life. I'll regret it for the rest of my life if I don't just go for it. So I love you, and I just want you to know I'm going to be okay. And I had to hang up on her, and I showed up at the bus, and no joke, as I walk onto the bus, the manager, Al, goes, I told you he'd show up. You owe me $5. They had a bet going on. And he goes, welcome to the team, son. Here's the contract.
Oh!
I know, right?
Oh, boom, boom,
Mic
boom,
drop.
Mic drop.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Right. So it kind of goes with what you guys have been teaching and promoting and like really helping people do, is that there does come a point where like you got to put your money where your mouth is, and you got to jump for it and go for it.
Yeah, you
I
have
love
to.
that.
You got, I mean, you got to be bold and just get yourself out there. And, look, we live in a digital world now, but what you did is you just went, right? Like person, face to face.
Here it is.
And sometimes, I was watching a thing, Undercover Billionaire with Grant Cardone.
Uh-huh.
And he was trying to make his way up too. And what he did, he was out there in the middle of the street with a sign and doing everything he could, like anything, and it's like to the ridiculous, right? Sometimes, like you said, they had a bet going, like, oh, he's not going to show up, right? Because it was a little ridiculous. But like, that's what it took. That's what it took.
And he literally tested me. I asked him that later. I'm like, did you do that to me on purpose? He's like, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I need. If you didn't show, you weren't man enough to play here.
Yeah.
He's like, but I knew if you were willing to risk everything and put everything on the line, I knew you'd win.
It sounded like he had called somebody on the phone and said, "Hey, check this out."
Yeah. So to our audience, that just speaks wonders. It's worlds, right? You have to be bold. You have to be
bold.
Be fearless, not crazy, right?
No.
Sometimes it's crazy. You might feel crazy, but within I think what people would expect of a normal human being. But you have to be bold.
We talk about this a lot. It goes back to what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You
the $10 million mindset.
Well, it's like where you are right now. Like, okay, so for you didn't have a contract at that moment, right? You didn't have a contract.
I didn't even have any promises.
No promises, nothing. So, okay, you could have went home, and you would have went home with exactly what you had, which was nothing.
Right.
What do you have to lose? Nothing. You had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
That's right.
So go for it. Like, figure it out.
David said 3 major words: leap of faith. And sometimes, guys, we know when it's a leap of faith. We know, oh my goodness, all the odds are stacked against me, but I got to do this.
Yep, 100%. So, David, your brand is Find a Way. You actually just wrote a book called Find a Way, and that's what you coach, and it's about just this figuring it out. Like, just figure it out. Danelle Delgado says, who loses if I don't win?
If you don't win?
Like, if I don't win, who loses, right? So, talk to me about your brand and where all that came from and Find a Way. Like, I love it. I love the message behind it.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, right? We've talked about becoming the professional baseball player, but there was this whole life after that. And I when I was working with my coach, it was like, well, who are you at your core? And you said it perfect. If you don't go for it, who loses if you don't show up? Like that is I think about the people that I've coached in business and in life that has saved their marriages, or it's saved their relationship, or it's helped them make millions of dollars, or it's helped them grow to the next level or inspire their team. That stuff might not happen had I not shown up. I was the messenger to deliver that message. And after baseball, it's funny, as I was coming on this podcast for you guys, I was thinking about a time when after baseball, people don't normally hear about that. That was my identity. I left baseball and I was broke, suicidal, depressed, sleeping on my parents' couch.
Oh, wow.
My mom was making payments for me because, like most young athletes, we're stupid. We spend all of our money while we're playing baseball.
Yes,
so I was broke and I had to get this sales job. And it was in Orange County and I was in LA County. So it was an hour and a half away. And I knew I had made friends with this guy who was the brother of the CEO of the company, right? Who you know.
There you go.
He's like, you should go work for my brother's company. I'm like, cool. So I reach out to the manager, and the manager looks at my resume and goes, nah. And I'm like,
huh?
Don't you know who I think I am? And so then I hit her up again. I follow up. I'm like, I'm applying for a sales position. I'm going to show you what it's like to really follow up with a lead. And so I'm following up and texting. I'm sending her stuff that she likes. She liked basketball. I send her some basketball stuff, and she's just blowing me off. So I send an email. I don't recommend this, by the way. I'm just showing you like the relentlessness. I email the CEO, and I CC her. And I said, hey, Tom, I've been applying to get this gig. I know I can bring in some revenue for this company, but I haven't heard back from Debbie. If she wants me to move forward, let me know when we can interview. And if not, can you tell her I'm a big boy and I can take a no for an answer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the CEO goes to the manager and goes, hey, I'm not asking. Hire him.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Now, a long story short,
wow.
2 or 3 years later, I accelerate through the company and end up becoming the director of sales, which was her position.
Right. Makes sense.
Now, I didn't try to do that, of course, but what I'm trying to get through is how many people would have stopped at the first resume with a no?
That's right.
The majority.
The majority.
So here's the deal. What I'm really taking away, and we talk about this a lot for our audience, is, the job search is sales and marketing. It is sales and marketing.
It is. You're right.
Right? He was.
Yes.
He was relentless with his follow-up, his persistence, reaching out and figuring out a way for them to, give me the real no. I want the real, solid, hard no. Not an automated, canned email That's not a no. That is not a no, guys. I want you to know that. You need the real
that's a good
hard, like,
point.
sorry, bro, you are not going to work here today. Stop calling me. Like,
That's
I remember
right.
when I was in the auto industry and I sold cars, I remember my sales manager said, just call them until they tell you to, go somewhere.
Smoke, yeah.
Right?
For
And
sure.
Trevor is that
I think what a
person.
lot of us don't understand is like, oh, we're going to bother them. But I look at it as making a stand. Like if you see a company that you can truly help, like if you're just trying to get a job, yeah, you're going to be like everybody else. But if you literally look at that company and you say, you know what, I can make a difference in that company.
Yeah.
You'll do whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, you'll figure out. You'll find a way. You'll find a way.
That's right. Good product placement.
You like that? You like that?
I did. It was really good.
Find a way.
There you
So
go.
everybody I know, David, says, oh, the system doesn't work. Then why do you keep playing in the system?
Oh, don't hate the player.
Mike, drop.
Drop
Hate the
that
game?
mic. Yeah.
Everybody I know, oh, the system's broke. The system.
Wow.
Come on, son. Wow.
Right? Change the game.
Get out of here with that.
Change the game.
Hey, David, so I heard you talk about your definition for the difference between a professional and an amateur. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. And I think we've touched on it a little bit, right? So one is this idea that, when I got to the pro level of baseball, I realized, wait a minute, all these guys are talented. They're all good. There's nobody there that's not good. They're all phenomenal. And it's so
Yeah,
funny
they are.
because you watch people that watch TV and they're like, oh, this guy stinks. And I'm like, I can assure you, that guy does not stink.
He's pretty good. That guy's
Right?
actually pretty good.
I went to college and thought I wanted to play football. Yeah, right.
So what you realize is a professional, there's a different, it's not that you're talented. I mean, there's a lot of talented people that go jobless.
Mm-hmm.
They're extremely talented, but
Right.
that's because
Yeah.
two things separate a professional from talent. And that first thing is commitment. Like if you listen, and that's why I named the book Find a Way, is that every single thing I've done, whether it was becoming a professional baseball player, whether it was getting the sales job, whether it was starting my coaching company, there was always this unwavering commitment and giving myself permission to win.
Yes. Commitment.
Yeah.
You got to be committed. What are you committed to, right? In the audience, in the job search right now, you're in the comments. I want you to tell me what you are committed to, right? What is the challenge that's holding you back? And how committed to overcoming that challenge are you?
Well, and I want to throw into that too, because what you're saying is very relevant, because we see in this network a victim mentality.
Oh, yeah.
Often.
Yeah.
Often. Way too much. And so there's a commitment to the game, to the process, but not to the results. And so people are not pushing to the result. And so I think that for you audience out there that are listening and watching this, commitment, and what he's saying is you have to be committed to the results and not have that victim mentality. You can't just give up. There's way too many people that give up and take that no. They, and I can't phrase it exactly how you put it, but they're not getting permission to win. They're getting permission to lose. They have permission to lose, and they use that way too often.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Mark.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Mark, okay,
So-
I'm throwing an invisible mic.
Oh, it was definitely a mic drop. I mean, that was nails.
That's from my man, Mark. Bad boy.
There you
it
go,
is.
Mark.
There it is. That's a Mark mic.
I know what it's like. Like in professional baseball, I would walk down the street and everybody knew who I was. They'd be like, "Oh, will you come on the radio station? I get free food." I mean, there was this luxury of acknowledgement. And when that went away, it's like I felt like my value in society had decreased. But it didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And what I learned was this. Our mind plays a couple of lies on us. Number one, it tricks you into believing that you are your results that you currently have. And that's not true, right? You're much more than what you do. You're much more than what you have. Like, and if you are that Ferrari, if you are that job, well, who are you when you don't have it?
David, I love what you're saying because I say this all the time. I tell my audience this. You're so much more valuable than the words on your resume, right? Like
Perfect.
the words on your resume, really? That's your value? No.
Mic drop.
Right?
Yeah,
Like what you
Yeah.
just said, right? You're so much more valuable than that. Yeah, I love that. You know, I think we all struggle with that victim mentality, right? I know I have. I remember when
Let's use
struggled with
this
it.
example, right? If money is your worth, well, then Mother Teresa must not have been very valuable.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
He
Yeah.
changed the world. Jesus didn't have a dime.
You know he didn't,
Changed
did he?
life as we know it.
Yeah,
That's right.
and it's a best-selling author.
And
just saying,
still
too.
changing life.
Best-selling author, like
Everybody's
all
like, I'm a
time.
best-selling
Mike,
author. I'm like,
Mike,
year in, year out,
triple
you don't
Mike.
beat Jesus as an author.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, you don't do it. Nobody does that one. Just saying.
You know what I mean? Every year in, year out, right?
Yeah,
So like, it's not money that makes you valuable. It's your
Right.
commitment and your skill sets.
I love that. I love
You know,
Love
each
it.
and every one of us have been born and given gifts by God. And I
Oh, yeah.
think that we ought to find out what that is and then go pour it on people. Trevor's got one.
You know-
He's done it. It's successful. Mark's got one. It's successful. And guess who else has got one? Ooh,
Oh, you got one.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Foster's a connector. That's one of his gifts, and he's really good at like remembering where the relationship. He is the
crazy.
relationship king. He knows like where he met somebody 5 years ago and hasn't talked to him in like 5 years, but he'll remember that and he'll be like, oh yeah, and like he'll just put in like he knows. I'm like, I forgot. I'm sorry. I remember your face. But I can't remember where, but he'll remember. He's like an elephant, never forgets.
My mother called me an elephant, David.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Now,
we were
I
talking
never
about this.
forget.
This
You know,
is a good
I'm
subject, real quick. We were talking about this in Clubhouse the other day in Breakfast with Champions. We were talking about, how to find your purpose, how to find it. Like, how do you know what your superpower is?
Yep. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And one of the things that I came up with in that room that there was a common theme that was going around. Everybody's superpower came from when they were like typically at rock bottom, right? They built on that rock bottom. They built a foundation. They figured out how to overcome, and their power was helping other people overcome the issues that they had gone through. And that's what I noticed that theme for a lot of people in that room. I thought it was pretty powerful. So.
That's powerful.
Like Patty Bashy. We were talking about Patty Bashy.
The minute I met Patty, I was telling her, oh my God, Patty, this is what I think I see. And the same thing happened in the network.
Yep, she was figuring out how to overcome this job search.
She sure did.
And she wanted to share it with the world. Like, here's how you do that, right? She could, if she wanted to. I don't know if she would want to, but she could make a great career coach. Just saying.
We've had-
David, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, we've had a bunch of mic drops. We got to go to commercial break again.
Well, let's go
Do we
to
have
audience
another
though. Before we do that, forget the commercials. Wait, I'm gonna make the sponsors wait.
All right. Well, we've had some mic drop moments, so
Yeah.
we have some questions. We want to ask a question to the audience.
Yeah. So let's give some shout outs. Let's see who we got with us. Make sure you chime in. Let us know where you're coming in from. What has been your favorite mic drop moment so far? Let's put it that way.
Devin Green shared a mic drop. Devin Green drowned in a pool, and her dad revived her, and it changed her life. And you guys, if you ever meet Devin Green, you'll know there's something special about her. Like David, you're the same. You got an anointing, brother. You got it. Go just pour yourself on people. Okay,
That's a
I'm going to
great way
shut
of
up.
putting it.
Love
Just
that.
pour yourself on people.
Just pour
Just go
yourself
out
on
there and
people.
pour yourself on people.
All right. So
Seriously,
I
you
got a
got
question
gift,
for
go
the
give it.
I got a question for the audience. All right. So mic drop question.
What's your question?
What city did David go to and find himself at the bus getting a job? What city was he in?
Oh,
He said it. He said it in the interview.
Yeah, so I wasn't paying attention, but so I won't be the winner today. But let's see, we got Jason Hopper in the house. We got Peter Shara. We got Mary Leon. We got Kathy. Good to see you. Penny, how are you? Fanny Dunn again. She says we love Foster.
Fanny.
Fanny Dunnigan is awesome. You talking about somebody
so Jason
anointed. Oh, my
Hopper,
God.
man, Jason, bro, I got to tell you something, Jason Hopper. You are always on it with the comments. I don't know if he got the answer right.
I don't think
Robin
that's right.
got it, looks like.
I think Robin is the next one that I saw.
Yeah. So is it El Paso? Was that the answer?
Talking to me?
El Paso, yeah, was that the answer?
El Paso is where I went to.
Oh.
It's not where I got on the bus, but I think the question that Mark was asking that is the right answer.
Oh. That
is the city I mentioned earlier.
That's
because we also have Chicago.
Yeah, no, that's the city that he mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the city I mentioned. So she definitely gets a free book.
Oh,
okay? She definitely gets a free book.
I'm going to find a way.
No, put that book back up there. Let me see that book. Come on.
Look at
that. Find a way,
man. That's a good looking picture.
Man, I tell you what, all y'all job seekers, you need to find a way. Because if you don't win, who loses?
Who loses?
Mm-hmm. Right? So think about that.
David,
you got to find a way.
pretty dapper in a suit, B.
I know. It's amazing what Photoshop does.
All right, now we'll go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're still gonna find a way. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, we're gonna find a way.
Trevor Houston here, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the Who You Know Job Networking Show. We hope you've been inspired, encouraged, educated, and entertained all at the same time. For information on our different events, workshops, partners, or partnership opportunities available, check out whoyouknow.show for more details. And be on the lookout for our new mobile app coming soon. You never know how this show could help someone you know? And if we've made an impact or put a smile on your face today, don't forget to hit that share button on your way out. Until next week, it's all about who you know. Bye!